The gears are turning. And do we have internet? Okay. It looks like it is live. We're live. Paraglidingtalk.com, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. You're here, we're here, and we're going to have a great show tonight. Man, do we have an episode for you tonight. Jeff Hamann is with us with friends for his most recent trip to Iquique, Chile. Jeff's going to introduce the guest that he brought with him. Jeff's an all-star that he come on the show, but also he brings special guests with him. That's how special of a guest Jeff Hamann is. So we're going to talk about all kinds of flying adventure. I'm stoked about this. Specifically, I've been waiting for this episode because I remember when he went, and I've got to see just a handful of pictures tonight. He's going to share some of those pictures. We're going to talk about all kinds of flying things. So stay tuned. Want to say quick couple sponsors of the show. One of those is Harley Milne. He runs a school in Southern California where he trains you how to fly. His website is dreamlifterparamotors.com. Harley Milne has some world records under his belt when it comes to flying paramotors, and knows what it takes to fly in all kinds of wild things. And so he's got just great adventures. If you want to sign up, you want to go get some special training. Maybe you're already a pilot, you've already been flying for years, you're interested in these adventure flying things. And it's probably a good idea to get trained up so that if Jeff ever calls you up for an adventure somewhere in the world, you'll be prepared. His adventures are always involving some kind of records. Go check out his website, dreamlifterparamotors.com. Also, another sponsor, Andrew Fuller, full service wing repair and checkup shop. His website is paraglider-inspection.myshopify.com. Maybe you accidentally chop up a wing or something like that, or you need some lines replaced. Andrew will help you. He also runs an SIV clinic, so reach out to him on his website and he'll get you all squared away. The show is also brought to you by ppgsmoke.com. PPG Smoke he originally made these smoke machines for paramotors, and then he eventually started inventing all these cool things or making stuff that was already invented better for our flying. Go check out ppgsmoke.com. The most recent thing that came out was the Unity headset, and I really enjoy it. We'll talk a little bit about that in the show. Me and Jeff got to test it out in a flight just a few days ago, and or maybe a week or so ago, and it was great, super fun. And we'll talk about that. So also want to mention paramotorprops.com. If you accidentally blow up a prop, and it happens to the best of us, go to their website, paramotorprops.com. Best deals on the interwebs. Yankee Paramotor donated $10 to the super chat. He said, for Robert's Skylink Fund. He said, Hammond has the best adventures. Yankee would be a good person to get a hold of, Jeff. I'll get you in contact with him. He's a former airline pilot for many years and has just a really great story for paramotoring. You guys get along. He's I don't know why I haven't connected the dots for you guys yet. That'll happen tonight. Yankee will be a great resource for you. So anyways, Jeff, if you would please do the honor of introducing these two special guests that we have.
Yes. First off, let me introduce Andrew Solano, my wingman extraordinaire for the last couple trips in Chile. He lives in Georgia, and he is a great guy to travel with. He's not easy to ruffle. He's very patient and puts up with all of my crazy suggestions on where we should go and how we should do it. Y también quiero presentarle Christian Serra de Chile. Y Christian es mi amigo y también una guía extraordinario, ¿no?
Wow.
Hermano.
Thank you,
Christian,
sir. Yes.
I met Christian, I think it's 5 years ago now, and we've done 4 trips together. We've made it now as far south as Patagonia zone in Chile, and I'm not sure how much farther I can go. The last three trips we completed our end-to-end legs all the way down, and then it's kind of fallen apart now with the lack of roads and terrible weather and other challenges. We left a lot of gaps this trip. But it's been
Christian is in Iquique, Chile. He runs the Oasis Fly, which they can take you on tandems and take you on adventures. How can they get a hold of Christian?
Christian, give them your contact info.
Yeah, if you have a website or something that people can get about.
We lost him. Lost him.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He warned
So that
us.
leads me to also mention I have bad internet as well, so I know the pain. Andrew Solano actually runs Skyfield Flight Works, and he's got some stuff going here in Georgia. So I guess if you're in the Georgia area, how could they get a hold of you, Andrew?
Sure. Thanks for having me on the show. Andrew at skyfieldflightworks.com is the quickest way to send an email, and we'll talk.
New certified welder?
Working on it. My last semester starts on Monday. I'll be certified by the end of the year. That'll be fun. And then we'll start putting our hand towards designing and building another paramotor. Trying to follow in Jeff's footsteps of having 6 or 8 of these things all over the world so that I can just get somewhere and go fly. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Go fly somewhere to go fly.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to find a manufacturer, a motor that they're not going to make anymore, and there's only a small few of them left, and do your best negotiating and place them all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's a lot for version number 2 of Expeditionary Paramotor that I've learned from following Jeff around the world. He does it great. He's very forward thinking in his plan and has things on hand all the time, which is very much like my Marine Corps career, moving airplanes across the world. And I want to keep doing it for a long time.
Nice. You're in the Marine Corps.
I retired from the Marine Corps. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for your service, man. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was Robert. If you couldn't tell, he's got a little longer hair. I don't think
that's right.
That today.
No. Yeah. They said I got all the haircuts they wanted me to have, and then I could go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. So let's talk a little bit about the adventure. So how do you set up a Chile adventure? What goes into this? There's got to be tons of steps that get you to a successful adventure flight in Chile. Share some of that for people that want to make these adventures their own.
Well, the first thing I do is research the weather, and I used to have to hire somebody to help me do that, but there's so many online tools now that you can use. I like Weather Spark. Can I share that screen with you, Robert?
Yes, sir.
So Weather Spark has a great site that you can use to look at the average weather for any place in the world that's got a recording station. And this is the one for Puerto Montt. And this is kind of where I started for our last trip. And as you can see, it rains and it's overcast in May, June, July, and cold. And then the weather starts getting good in December. And the clearest skies and the most comfortable temperature and no rain is in the January, February timeframe. So that's when we go. I also do a little bit more research on the wind with some other sites, but this is just a really good place to start. And then generally from there, what I do is I go to Google Earth and look for sites that look like I might be able to land and launch from. And with that, I can start planning some legs. So the green ones are all places that I figure we can land safely, and the yellow ones are maybes, and the red ones are emergency only kind of things. And then I located a couple of hotels. This stretch of coastline, as you can see, there's no coastal road. It's all mountainous and crazy terrain. So you can only get out to 3 places. There's one in the middle here that's a dirt road that we went out to. But so you have to plan not only places you can land, but places that you can get to by a vehicle, and some place that you can stay. Although we did camp one of our trips before, but I don't like to do that. It just takes so much time and effort if you're trying to accomplish anything. So then after I work on all of the the potential waypoints, then I start planning tracks in between them. And once I get that all determined, I work with Christian to try to get hotel reservations. And unfortunately, this is the best time of year to fly, but it's also vacation time down there too. So we don't have as much flexibility on places to stay as I'd like, which also makes it hard to complete a track. If you're waiting for weather and the next hotel reservation is going to expire, you got to make a decision whether you want to sleep in a bed or whether you want to wait another day to fly. So we skipped a few places, as you can see. The 2022 flights, we completed pretty much everything except for one little piece right here. And this area had howling southern winds coming through here and a military commercial airport right here. And we waited, we hoped to get a good time to fly, but decided it just wasn't worth waiting any longer. So we jumped over and continued on from here. And even from here, we had nasty winds coming offshore over the mountains until we got all the way up to this area here where it started to smooth out again. So it's tough. The summer, which is the only time to go down there, also happens to be predominantly southern winds. So even though I'm working my way south, we have to start south and fly legs north because the winds are so strong you cannot fly against the wind. You've got to work with a tailwind.
Which is probably better for the length. Yeah. I like the idea of having that tailwind because you can cover more ground. What is your... Oh, can you hear me?
Is it just me or is it you, Robert?
I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
I can hear him.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not having
we can hear both of you.
Yeah.
I can hear you, Jeff. Can you hear me?
All right. Are you back?
Yeah, we heard you, Jeff.
Okay. Somehow I lost you guys.
No worries.
We still haven't got Christian back, though. Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, I was talking about the tailwind and how that's beneficial to the length of your flights. What's the average length of your daily flight?
I try to plan a flight somewhere between 30 and 45 miles. And it depends, where the next place is you can potentially land. Sometimes we do 2 legs in a day. Last year, we did 3 legs one day. I think we flew over 100 miles one day because we had a good weather window.
Yeah, more than 6 hours of flying that day.
Yeah.
Big days.
Wow. fog is also a problem, and
Ooh,
you got to wait for the fog to clear, or you got to try to cut through it like we did a couple of times, which is a bit dicey. So
but if you can
between
get
the
on
wind and
top
the
of
fog,
it, it's just beautiful.
oh yeah, yeah, big sea of clouds. Yeah, one time last year we actually went to a destination and had to go down through the clouds, and we broke out at 600 feet right above the waypoint on our GPSs and landed. It was dicey.
Good day.
So this trip, we flew to Santiago from the US. I met Andrew in Atlanta, and we then took another flight from Santiago to Puerto Montt, which is down there in the south. And well, and there went my,
Yeah, the internet's
go.
been giving people problems all over the
There it
place
goes.
actually today.
All right, are we seeing it again now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we flew here to Puerto Montt, which is obviously pretty inland, and then we drove out. And because of the difficulty in finding places to stay, I actually rented a cabin here for the first 5 days so that we could get our motors together, do some test flying, and then from there we used that as a base to do all of the flights that you can see on this screen. And it was just a spectacular spot. I think it's one of the nicest places that we've ever stayed. Wouldn't you say, Andrew?
Absolutely. Best, nicest accommodations and flying
Yeah,
window. Like, it was an awesome week right there.
Yeah.
We got to fly every day there.
Yeah, we had a good start. So here's Christian and Andrew at the dining room there. And this is what the coastline looked like right where we were at this hotel.
That dinner looked fancy.
I recognize that from the calendar, one of those pictures.
Well, that wing, because this is not in the calendar yet.
Oh,
So that's
it's in
actually
Pilot,
this is the house that we rented. And we were really hoping that we could launch from that little bit of grass, but never worked out. Then this is the lodge where we had our meals, and we got fed well. It was very nice. And this is our flying. They had pads everywhere. You can't see how steep it is until you realize these are stairways. It's just really, well, you can see the sea stacks, everything is steep. But just spectacular landscape. But the resort had this beautiful beach in front of the lodge where we were able to take off and land.
And that was just our shakedown flight from putting our motors together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is still the first day. We landed from that first flight and then changed wings and took this flight next.
I was very intent to get pictures of this wing. This is a new Colorado 3 that McPara gave to us for the trip, and it didn't even have a nameplate on it. It was so new. So Andrew might have been one of the first guys that flew it. These guys down here are drying seaweed, which we saw quite a bit in different places. They sell it for sushi. See the cave going underneath that rock?
Wow.
And, a lot of places we had pocket beaches or beaches that we could fly. And then there were other places that was kind of a low shrub that we could go in at. So here's the lodge, and here's the road we used to get down to the beach. So our launching area was down in there. And then here's our cabin here.
So could you just put your motor on your back and walk down to the beach?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
No, we went down with a truck and did it the lazy way.
Yeah, our our cabin was on the opposite end of the resort from where the good launch site was.
Yeah, we never successfully launched from the grass.
Yeah,
So
there-
here's
And is because of wind direction?
yeah,
and it wasn't just
Makes sense.
just not quite big enough.
yep. And then access to the beach. We could get down there with the truck. We didn't have to carry much down.
Is that Christian's truck?
No,
No,
I have a
that's the
picture of
resort.
Christian's truck. Yeah, the resort let us use a driver and a truck too, which was good.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then every place we flew, we were looking for places to free fly. And some days we saw some awesome places and realized, there's no way to get there. And other places were facing the right direction, but there was a line of trees between the flat spot and the cliff, or there would be no beach down below it. But we did find a couple of spots anyway. So this is working our way south from the hotel. And we got down to where the estuaries came up into where the rivers dump out. And there was just some spectacular farmland and river mouths and cattle.
And that saw a lot of cool stuff. And that Colorado is just a great wing that Mac Para put out. It's another awesome product from them. This was good. This was the second flights of the first day still, and all the way down to get good pictures that day.
That is such a cool looking wing.
Yep.
The
That's
sand of
Jeff.
the river was shifting around everywhere.
Is that that's the custom colors for the Colorado?
No, beggars can't
Yeah,
be
you can buy-
choosers.
No, those are factory colors.
Factory, no kidding.
Regardless, it's still beautiful though. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
yeah.
So this is from the roof of the lodge. And this is out front of in our cabin.
Wow. It looks like Hawaii has that vibe.
No, it's cold.
Down to the hot tub. Yeah.
So each of the cabins had a hot tub,
Wow.
wood fired. So they'd go down and
Wow.
start the fire in the morning. And this is looking out our window.
Pulpo.
Oh, that's amazing.
Qué rico.
The first adversity of the trip.
Oh,
See
man. Oh,
my-
cracked.
Yeah.
It's not even Videra. I can't say it.
MY19.
They
Oh.
barbecued a Borrego over an open fire for us.
That was
Wait,
so
what is
delicious.
that?
Yeah, they did a barbecue for us the last night that we were here at this resort. We sat out with them on the pool deck turning this lamb all day long.
Oh,
It was
lamb.
awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Look at that place.
It ain't
Very
Hawaii.
nice.
You see how we're dressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was cold still.
But the food and the wine was great.
Yep.
Wow.
And I don't remember the name of this drink, and we've lost Christian, so I can't tell you.
Yeah. But he owns Oasis Fly in Iquique, Chile. If you want to look him up on the internet, he's an awesome guide. He's always done well for us. We always
Yeah.
appreciate him so much.
We
And that was
did
like
a
a special
we did a
drink that
tour of
they
their
made just for him.
gardens, and they grow all their own produce for the hotel. We went bird watching a couple days, and these flies are
Oh.
just terrible. They bite like crazy, and some days you couldn't get away from them.
Oh man.
Why would you allow them to land on your hand? Hey, so
You-
so that there's not much. Obviously, there's probably not much of a paramotoring community down there, right? Besides Christian's
No.
group or something like that.
Yeah.
So when you obviously people are pretty excited to see you and stuff, but as far as the police or the authorities or something like that, did they ever give you a hard time? They try and hey, that's too, you're not supposed to be doing that or something like that. There's
Yeah. You know what? I kind of skipped that part when I talked about the planning, didn't I? Sorry about that.
Hmm.
See
A
the
good question.
hot tub and the cabin. It was just so cool.
Beautiful.
That 360 camera was a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you. I'm going to come back to that, Anthony.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. These are great shots, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're inspiring me to get the 360 cam out when I go motoring now.
So, yes, there's lots of rules and regulations in Chile, unlike a lot of the places that we've gone. This is a particularly bad area. This is all a military place. And of course, I wanted to land on this beach. This is a military base. And this is a controlled airport. And this is a military controlled airport. But with Christian's help, we were able to get our flight plan approved. And then every day he would call the approach control, which was in Atacama, I think it was here. Anyway, and tell them what our plans were for the day, and they'd say, okay. And then he would go ahead of us, and he actually got in the tower of this airport and talked to the controllers and communicated with us on our radios while we flew by. It was a hoot.
Wow.
Yeah. And you only can do that with somebody like Christian to help, work through all that, right?
Yeah, but having a local, he's such an ambassador for what he's doing and for his country. Like, he can step in the door and everyone knows exactly his intentions are good here.
Yeah. So where we were flying down here, there were no airports that we had to worry about this trip.
Or roads.
Yeah.
No kidding.
No roads either. Yes. So that was all day one, if you can believe it. and
wow.
and on that flight, we noticed that this face of the cliff looked like it might be a place you could fly. And if you can believe this, see this field right here that's all grass that's been cut and mowed, and then this area right here. Well, that was all trees, probably a month before we got there. And they had just gotten done cutting them down and pushing them over the cliff. So a month ago, we wouldn't have been able to fly here because the trees would have blocked the edge of the cliff. And it had a road that went down to the beach down here so you could access this beach so that we knew we could land. And this is what it looked like, and facing the wind.
We just showed up just at the right time.
We talked to the farmers and they were happy to let us use it and drove out there with us, and they were excited to watch us.
Oh, free fly. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So we had an hour or two of glorious free flying here. It was really neat.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Awesome day right there.
And here's the guys
sock
that owned the land and their dogs, of course. But it was just magical.
Where's your windsock?
You didn't
it's out
see
there
it?
somewhere.
It's out there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
See?
Right. It's behind Christian right there. There it is. I'm pointing at the screen like y'all can see it.
They actually had kind of a bay as part of the hotel and a place where they could launch boats. And we threatened to go paddleboarding or kayaking, but we were so busy flying and working on gear that we just never made it happen. This is now going north of the hotel, and there's supposed to be penguins here. And I'm a lot higher than Andrew because my motor's not running right. And I didn't want to get out of a place where I could land, but you can see there's beaches, and it almost quit on me twice. And I finally landed right here and messed around with my carburetor and got it running. This is why you go to one place that's safe for the first couple of days to get it all worked out, right? And I got it dialed in and was able to relaunch and go back up with Andrew. And we flew all the way up to the end of the road. This is as far north as the road goes from the area where our hotel was. And even then, the road is so bad that the manager of the hotel said it was impassable and wouldn't let his truck go up there. So instead of flying up there and landing, Andrew and I did a round trip, and Christian went up on top of a hill where he could maybe get radio contact with us, and we were able to talk to him most of the time, but he didn't drive this. He only drove about half of it, and then he stopped.
Now, who's flying the Magic?
I
Is
am.
it- Awesome. What were your thoughts on that?
I love the Magic. It's just a really, really good all-around wing. I encourage beginners to start on it. And then when you're going places you've never flown before and you know the terrain is going to be unpredictable, taking something that has a lot of passive safety in it is just a worry-free way to fly it. It's a great all-around adventure wing. It's done everything that Jeff's ever asked us to do with it.
Yeah. I wish they weren't so ugly though.
Oh, the colors.
Oh man, those things are
We'll just
so
have to suck
cool.
it up. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Super cool.
And they're slow, which I'd like for photography, right, Anthony?
Anthony doesn't
I knew you were going to
speak
say
slow.
something there.
So,
Yeah.
so this is where I landed, right here. And there was
Yep.
a cow on the beach, and he did not move. He just let me go right by him and land on the beach. It was crazy.
You didn't hear him
That's
say
wild.
move.
Yeah. But the scenery was just spectacular.
Beautiful part of Chile to be in.
Okay, before you move ahead, I want to do something real quick. We want to do a giveaway. We're going to spin the wheel. I want to mention that John Wayne donated $10 to the super chat. He said, I got my package. Awesome, John Wayne. He won a t-shirt, and we finally got that sent out, and I put some goodies in there. Tonight, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give away a t-shirt and some trinkets. I got a couple things. I actually brought one finally. You can see me. This is a little, it's a holder. It's 3D printed, and it'll hold micro SD cards. And so if you use more than one and you're on a longer trip, you can store those in there safely and they won't get damaged. And then I got one of these. So Ray Pierce made these. They go on your throttle handle, and you glue a mirror to the end, and that way it just kind of stays with your throttle, and you can check your gas levels and make sure your GoPro's on when you're flying. So anyways, I'll throw those in there if you want to spin the wheel, Sean, and called the spinny wheel of Winnie things.
Absolutely.
So
No more
put
names
some
in the
stuff
wheel.
down.
Just getting that out there because we are on a time delay. So by the time that I've gotten everything organized, that means that I'm not taking any more names. So zing.
Yep. No more
Okay.
names. So this is my time to mention a couple of sponsors. One of those is Calamity Kite Clinic. So Sean runs Calamity Kite Clinic, and for a nominal fee, you can get specific training so that you can be incredible at ground handling. There's just a few little tiny tips that you're going to need to become an expert at ground handling. Calamity Kite Clinic will help you with that. Also want to mention Nebraska PPG. The spin of this wheel is brought to you by Josh Bowden tonight. He runs a school in Nebraska. If you're interested in getting some top-notch training, you can sign up with Josh and his team today. There's a link in the description if you want to get a hold of him. Also want to mention Lone Star Paramotor. Lone Star Paramotor is in the state of Texas, obviously, but Ron Turan is the one that organized that school. If you want to get some world-class training, go to their website, lonestarparamotor.com. It's all blurry to me.
No, you can't let Michaels have that.
Is it me? It's all super blurry for me.
No, we passed you.
David
You're gonna have to tell me
Ashton.
who it is. Really?
David Ashton. That's ASHTON. Congratulations.
David Ashton, winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations.
Thanks.
David, I need you to do one thing. Please go to the website. I almost gave you the church website. TheDoorSanDiego.com. No, you need to go to paraglidingtalk.com. And if you just put / contact, there's a little contact form in there. In that contact form, give me your information where to send your package, your winnings. I'm going to throw in some stickers. I had a bunch of people send me stickers, and I got a Paramore Live sticker. I've got some other ones in here. And so I've just been throwing them in there and make it rain. So thank you. I really appreciate everybody that's been support show through Patreon and PayPal. You guys are awesome. Really, I'm grateful for that support. That keeps the show going. It keeps the packages going out. It keeps the gifts and trinkets coming in. And most recently, the need for better internet. So I'm hoping that the show will support my need for Starlink. It's $800. We're about $500 away from getting that. And you may not notice that much, but for me, the whole meeting, everyone's face is frozen and the pictures are really bad. So it's difficult to stay on track, and I'm behind, seems like behind the buck. So anyways, thank you for supporting the show. If you want to support that little thing, I recommend if you're planning on, putting something, a bigger gift towards that, don't do it through the super chat, because they take 30%. Yeah, 30%. Really rough. But if you wanted to do that through PayPal, there's a link in the description if you want to do that. So thank you for that. So let's talk about this little next step. So we got through day one, and very likely we're going to do a second show because of this incredible adventure. And I have to say this real quick for all the California people. If you look at is it latitude? If you look at the degrees of latitude, you're really getting close to that same kind of Big Sur, maybe north of why it slips my mind. Man, the Northern California-esque type of scenery.
Eureka.
So we're at 41 degrees right here.
Yep.
So that's the same as what? That's the same as probably Eureka. I think Sean's right. Eureka's, well, it's right at the border. So Northern California, Oregon border, but it's much colder in the south because there's far less land mass to maintain the heat.
Yep.
So
We've
even though it's
gotten to the bottom of the southern hemisphere that is paramotor flyable at this point.
Yeah. Penguins.
They're coming up soon. We're a couple of days away from penguins.
So this was our longest flight that first day, and then this is the second day flight that I was sharing you pictures on, and this is where Christian waited for us while we flew down here and back, and this is where we were supposed to see the penguins, which had unfortunately already left. But we got to see them later in the trip, right, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Third year in a row, been waiting to see penguins. Finally got them.
Well, you saw some dead ones before.
Yeah, we missed the penguins the last time. They had already been there and moved south from where we were at.
Yeah. So you want to see some
Yankee
more pictures,
Paramotor
Robert?
asked, yeah, Yankee Paramotor asked, did you free fly the Colorado 7?
No, I don't think we did.
No, we did not. No. So back to the flying.
Yeah.
We're working our way back south again and getting ready to pass where Christian's waiting for us. You can see that it's populated. This is where the penguins were supposed to be. And this is where Christian was waiting for us, right in this little community here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that beautiful? So Christian waited, I think, probably in this parking lot right here. And then this is where they launched the fishing boats out of this little community.
Okay, I see that. Got a little break there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then this beach actually has a trail all the way from the hotel that they do 3-day treks to get to it.
3 days.
3 days. And we flew.
You bring camping gear?
Yep. Well, they also have
Wow.
some remote outbuildings that they maintain, I guess. So now we're back to the resort. This is the lodge, and this is our cabin right here. And this is the bay where they send out their boats and kayaks. There's the hot tub again, and Andrew's getting ready to land on the beach down there. And then we made a second flight that day too to try out a new Sirocco 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when you got your Sirocco 3.
That's the one you fly down here.
Yeah. It hadn't been unpacked. It was factory wrapped when Andrew flew it before I did.
I did. I love the Sirocco. Ozone's such a great product, and the Sirocco is just a really fun wing to fly.
Yeah.
I think I did that to one of your wings too, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's such a generous
take
guy,
some
man.
pictures. He didn't have a choice.
Well, as soon as he flies, he's got to adjust the brakes, and then it's just his.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So that was day 2. And then we drove. Then we drove south and went ahead and had Christian leave us off right here. And we did another round trip because for him to follow us, he would have had to take a ferry here and then drive down here. And the ferry, you can wait for a couple hours to get it sometimes. So we realized that we'd be much better off to just have him stand by here. And because it's all beach, we were in contact the whole time. So if one of us had a problem, we could tell him to go ahead and get on the ferry and come down and get us. But fortunately, the flight went well, and we went down and visited Carlamapu, and it was a interesting day because when we launched, it looked like we were going to have a lot of clouds. And as we kind of got down to this area here, it opened up. We had beautiful sunny weather for our picture run down down in Carlamapu.
The rooftops in Carlamapu are all kinds of different colors. It's just a beautiful little town.
Yeah, and the scenery was fantastic too. So that's looking at where we launched, and then we headed down this beach, and you can see it's kind of cloudy over here, but starting to get sunny down at the end. And the further we went, the sunnier we got. And we are always entertained by the beach cows. And the cows down there are very, very interesting. They have short legs, and they're very tame. You know, here you got to kind of be careful and not get too close to them. Down there, they just ignored us. It's very interesting.
Yeah, Zen beach cows.
Very fast.
Zen beach cows.
Beach cows don't run very fast. Short legs.
Yeah, short legs.
And that's something I've never heard of, is a beach cow. I didn't even know
Yeah,
cows
me
could
neither.
be down at the beach. That's pretty wild.
We saw lots of beach cows.
I got a recipe for beach cow.
So much other livestock just kind of running around in Chile at this end of the world.
So the water's, gosh, probably 50, 55, Robert. So this ain't Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, that's chilly. That's why they call it chili.
So here's Karlamapu. And there's your roof. There are different colored roofs, Andrew.
Yep.
And the cemetery.
Oh, I like the different color roofs. That's neat.
Yeah, it was a cool city. And we're about
It
to
was
head
nice.
back north now.
Yeah, it was nice to be flying where we had so many great bailouts. This hole actually is, you can get to it from this cave that goes through into the hole there. And these cliffs are very famous. Of course, I can't remember the name of them right now, but I've showed those pictures to a couple of other people, and they go, "Oh, that's such and such." And if Magali is listening, she could call in and tell us the name of them, I bet.
No kidding.
I have a friend in San Diego who has followed my stuff, my trips down here, because she's from Chile.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So we flew north, we flew south, we messed around a lot here, and then it was time to move on. And you don't see any roads going out here, do you?
We're looking at pictures still, Jeff.
You are?
Yeah.
I thought I stopped sharing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now you got it?
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay. So we
Will
flew
Fly
south.
donated.
We flew here. We flew here. And now we're driving north to try to get out to another place with some roads, because there's no roads. But there is a dirt road that goes out to this area here. And it was horrible, just terrible roads. And but we didn't regret it, because we got to fly this very unique river valley cliff beach area. It was spectacular. And
Yeah.
just the adventure of getting out there and staying in a remote hospedaje was just really fun.
And this is as far south as you've made it, right?
Yeah, this is our last trip south. We're north now.
So we're down here. We're working our way back up to we're trying to connect with the end of the last trip, but obviously we didn't make it. We went out on the road here, and then we went out on the road here, but we didn't manage to do any of the stuff in between. The weather was just too bad. And if we went down anywhere along this coastline, it would have been a boat retrieval. And the waves are bad. It could have been really ugly. So I guess I'm getting older and more or less adventurous. I don't know.
Conservative.
The benefit doesn't outweigh the cost at that point.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
we came here to have a lot of great flights, and we got them.
We did. We did.
Wow.
So go for it, Robert.
I just wanted to mention Will Fly donated $5 to the super chat, and he said Resurgence PPG rocks. And I have to agree. If you want to support our men and women of uniform, you can make a deductible donation to resurgenceppg.com. They're a 501c3. They take wounded and adaptive recovery veterans, and even if they're dealing with PTSD or things like that, and give them a vision for paramotoring. And so what they do is they send them to training, they get them gear, and they get them up in the air, and they give them something to look forward to. And it's just a super cool thing. You hear some of the testimonies. It's incredibly powerful what they're doing over at resurgenceppg.com. So reach out to Todd Scandrett if you want to support that. I do also want to mention, if you want to take an SIV clinic, you can sign up with Max Marion. He runs the website maxacro.com, and he is he's a local here in San Diego, but he does some training in different places around the world. And SIV training is really incredible. I did a SIV clinic with him and learned so much and came back from that event with just a whole new respect for my wing. And I put aside a lot of the fears that I had of the unknowns of what would happen if I did this or that. And so sign up with his team. You can go to his website, maxacro.com.
Andrew, have you worked with Resurgence, haven't you?
I have. I've trained 3 Resurgence candidates now. That's a very rewarding experience. The company's great. Todd and I were probably got mixed up together in the conception of Resurgence, and I'm just really, really blessed that I get to work with them whenever they have a candidate that kind of fits the bill of what I'm doing down here, and they need our help.
You were going to say something about that PPG smoke avionics set too, Robert.
Yeah, I've got the second version. The first version had some glitches. I was still able to use it. But this new version is really clear. There was something if I had to guess, there was some kind of a lack of shielding on wiring for transmission. And so the first version you couldn't hear what I was saying. And when I could hear Jeff when we would go fly, but he couldn't hear me. And so it was a little frustrating. And so Jeff is very passionate about having good comms. And this last one, this last flight that we did, I said, okay, Jeff, we're going to test the new one. He's very, he's a skeptic on this because he's been through so many different headsets. And he said, this particular one sounds really incredible because there was no background sound. And I'm full throttle or almost full throttle, and I'm talking just like I'm talking to you right now. And
it was amazing. It's some of the best sound quality I've ever flown with. And I flew with Matt then this morning, and he had one too, and it was also awesome. Just great.
Oh, that's great. That is great news. Yeah, I know Ryan has put a lot of effort into this, and he's taken a lot of heat because the first version came out and it kind of fell on its face for a lot of people. I didn't have that problem with mine, but a lot of people did. And, he was designing this and putting this together for us. It was like a kind of a side gig. And I think looking back, if he would have done it over, I think he would have said, hey, this is what do you call it? Like a jump starter or something like that. Support
beta.
This new. Yeah, this is beta. So sign up at your own risk or something like that. But the way he was just feeling like, hey, everybody that flies is super cool and everybody's going to love to be a part of this new engineering adventure. And that wasn't necessarily the take from most people. They were like, I'm a consumer and I bought this and it didn't work and they're mean and they're nasty emails and different. They're just attacking him. So he's not one to take attacks. He just tells you to pound sand and be patient. Wait, engineering doesn't happen overnight. And then we had the pandemic in the middle of it. So China was shut down for half of the time, and he was using engineers from there for some of the sound stuff because he wanted to use specific teams that had worked on other successful projects involving aviation headsets. And there's a lot behind the story, but these new ones came out and they flew off the shelf. So Jeff went to go and buy a set, I think, and they're sold out. So I'm going to talk to him, Jeff. I'll see if I can get him to pull one out of the shoebox. I'm sure he has some hidden ones, maybe. I see him often. So he's an Encinitas. I'll next time I'm there, I'll try to steal a pair for you.
Well, he's going to order another batch, isn't he?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So he's asked that we give feedback from this. I think he sent out like 120 or something like that, maybe 200. So out of that, he's making sure that everything is perfect because, they are expensive. I think they're $550 or $560 or something like that.
Well, my feedback on the two that I've communicated with are top notch.
Yeah. Anthony and I were on the phone together in the air, And I told Anthony, I was like, is your motor running? Are you on the ground? And he goes, no, I'm in the air and I'm at 3/4 throttle. And I'm like, I couldn't tell. And I said, well, I'm flying with the mask, the shield. And so it's direct, all the noise is being directed right into the microphone, and it was still good. You still couldn't hear it.
It's very good.
I'm not sure how they made that happen. Yeah. So there was another question that came up in the chat. Ripman Ryden, he said, how old is Jeff? And he's 49.
Again.
Give or take 20 years.
Yeah.
Still young enough to still fly.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm 69 and I'm missing a lot of body parts, but I'm still flying.
Yep.
We can't collect 5 Jeff Hammonds just to make one good one like his Cisco Air,
Cisco.
Keep one going.
Yeah, I'm missing my left kidney and my spleen and part of my pancreas and diaphragm and stomach and a rib and
those are all overrated.
Yeah, lots of stuff, but I'm still flying.
But it did make him, he was able to actually now he has to buy a smaller wing, so cheaper.
It's just all up weight is much lower.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Sloper asked a question earlier, and since I'm getting to the questions in the chat, he said, does Jeff plan on getting an EFI PPG for future adventure flying?
Not for a couple of years.
Jeff is very satisfied with his motor because he can work on it. He knows the carburetor and the setup very well. So he doesn't want to have to learn anything new.
Yeah. Well, and the new stuff always has problems the first couple of years. You gotta let that get worked out of the system. Top 80 came out with fuel injection 5 years, or they didn't come out with it, but they were showing it at the shows over 5 years ago, and it never made it to market. I don't know what the story was, but
expensive.
Hopefully Veterazzi's is gonna be that much better. I hear it really reduces the fuel consumption, which is exciting to me.
Oh, no kidding. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be great for these long cross countries.
I burn it.
Yeah. Mad Sloper did have one other question. He said, what type of travel insurance does Jeff usually use when traveling outside the US for PPG?
What's the name of that company, Andrew?
Seven Corners.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Seven Corners. And they let you pick your dates that you're leaving, and they kind of let you pick your variables of the end, and then it's incredibly affordable. It's really a no-brainer.
And it's one of the few that insures for what they call extreme sports.
Correct.
Oh, that's great. That's great information. Great question, Mad Sloper. Both your questions are amazing. Mad Sloper is working on an electric tow wench. I think it's a pay-in wench that he's going to use for free flying. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. I might go and play around with that with him.
Nice.
We can connect. Yeah. Well, we're at that 1 hour mark. That show flew by. Thank you so much for taking the time. We have to do another part 2 of this. So I'll reach out to you soon, Jeff, and we'll set that up. I'm super stoked to meet Andrew. Andrew, I'm surprised that we haven't crossed paths already at some point. We know a lot of the same people, and so I'm so glad that I got to meet you.
He's got a lot of friends in the chat, so
I know
Andrew's making his way around the fly-ins, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of fun traveling around with paramotor. It's just what
That's
I do.
awesome.
Yeah, Robert, thank you for having me. This was awesome. Jeff, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, sorry we lost Christian. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Let's mention Oasis Fly Chile one more time, just for him.
Yeah.
And he is really a true ambassador of the country and such a great host to us. Goes above and beyond all the time. We really couldn't do this without him.
And free flying in Iquique is world class. It is amazing. and he's got all the equipment and the knowledge to make a trip there be a real success.
And
Yep.
free flying too, right?
Yeah, that's
Free
all
flying,
free
yeah,
flying.
that's what he runs.
Yeah, that's
so
what
go visit him there.
I'm gonna have to do that. That's a bucket list for sure. And Quique, Chile.
That's the
They
place.
They speak Spanish, or
Yes.
and we can use our Tijuana Spanish and they'll accept it.
It'll work out.
They'll get it.
I don't know. You'll have to demonstrate for me.
Robert, why don't you give us a sample?
Yeah. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Tú eres Hermen? ¿Tú eres Hermen? You're the menso? Menso?
Hey, listen. So here's what Southern California's got to look forward to right now. We got a little hurricane coming in.
Oh, it's getting close.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one they talked about. This one's coming in Monday for us. So we're gonna get some. Here's San Diego around here. But you look at this.
In the world?
Look at this. You think that's bad? Look at this. This is what Jeff always has to try to avoid when he goes down south.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours looks like nothing. That's only 47 miles, but still.
But it's always there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
No
kidding.
So are you
that thing's
going to go
dialed up.
flying with the Raptors on Sunday, Anthony?
Of course. We fly. Actually, no, Saturday. We're going to move it to Saturday. I'm not sure why. Some of us, some are a little, timid. They're not sure about those gusts,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
They say
Guys, if you-
50-mile-an-hour winds by Sunday.
Yeah.
If you want to join the after show, we're going to put the link in the description. Come hang out with us, and we're going to go offline. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you like what's happening here, hit the thumbs up. And if you want to support the show on Patreon and PayPal, there's links in the description. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in the air. Have a